Greetings, everybody. My name is Jim Shear.
I'm Mike Adam.
And welcome to Give Me 5. Every week we've got a new category. Every week we give you our top 5, our worst 5. This week the category is Most Underrated Music Acts of the Last 10 Years. Mike Adam, give me 5.
All right, there were a lot to choose from, and I was going through like all these people, and I was like, oh my god, I feel bad for you guys. Portugal The Man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They have like 55 albums, and their most recent one is just starting to, well, it just started to garner some attention, but they have so many albums and they're so good, and I'm just like, why does no one care? Or we're so late to the party on them. So that's number 5. Number 4, Xavier. He's the winner of the first season of The Voice, but you know, and he's Connecticut's own, so I gotta rep for him. But you know, a lot of people don't know he was signed to Capitol Records like back in 2003 or something. He put out 2 albums, they were great. Nobody cared. He disappeared. He won The Voice, and then nobody cared again when he put out another album. And I'm like, why? Is it because he's from Connecticut? So yeah, Xavier coming in at the number 4 spot. At the number 3 spot, Conor Maynard, who is this kid that Neo found on YouTube, and people were calling him like the UK Justin Bieber or something like that, you know, because they always have to compare somebody to somebody else. But he has such a great voice, and I don't think he's necessarily found his sound yet or anything, but his first effort was really good, and I feel like nobody really cared. None of his singles caught on, and now it's kind of like he's in limbo. Will he come out with another album? Does Neo not care about him anymore? So I think out of those like little teeny boppers, he was definitely the one with the most talent. And
well, after this episode, he'll be back on the map.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm rooting for you, Connor. At the number 2 spot, Kanon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Rapper slash singer. He's got 6 albums out. He not only is a great rapper and singer, but he has a message, and I feel like people kind of, if they hear certain songs, like, what is it, Waving Flag, I think was his big one. If they hear certain songs, they're like, oh yeah, I think I've heard that before, but that's about it for Kanon.
Didn't he have a World Cup song?
Yes, and he had the World Cup song, and I mean, he's been an emerging artist on like radio stations and stuff like that, so I don't know, and he's so good. He's so good. At the number 1 spot, you're gonna make fun of me, Joe Budden. He will be, anytime we're doing an underrated list, he will be on my list. The past 20 years, the past 5 years. Listen to Joe Budden.
Joe Budden.
All right, I'm
one
done.
of the greatest MCs of all time.
Yes.
According to my, he's your Beastie Boys. Joe Budden is your Beastie Boys.
I know, I'm done. Give me 5, Jim.
I like that you put Joe Budden there, because we know Joe Budden, but he's just underrated in your book.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Vampire Weekend. And you may say to yourself, they're not underrated. Every time they play a festival, the font is really big with their name. And I'm like, no. They should be the REM or the Smashing Pumpkins of this generation. Just a solid band, a band that came together organically, and I just don't know why they're not bigger. Yes, they are big, but I think they should be bigger than they are.
Yes.
Number 4, Royal Blood, a 2-piece hard rockin' band from England. They put out their debut album last year, got no love from the Grammys, seemed to get no love from rock radio. People don't like to rock out anymore. Yeah. This band does. And they should be rated highly for it. Number 3, Delta Ray. Oh. One of my favorite current bands. They've got 4 singers, 3 siblings in the band, 2 female singers, 2 male singers. Think of them as a Fleetwood Mac for 2015 with less drama and less drugs. I've seen them live. One of the best live shows going today. So maybe not enough people are seeing them live, because you could listen to their albums and say, all right, but once you see them live, you'll be like, okay, I'm a fan, I get it. Number 2, Malachi.
Wow.
Now, it's a 2-piece out of Bristol, England. They've put out 3 albums. Every time they put out an album, it's one of my favorite albums of the year. I talk to my friends, even friends that know about music, and they're like, I don't know who Malachi is. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
The one producer used to be knee-deep in the trip-hop scene. Their singer used to rap. Their music sounds like a really dirty, gritty version of the Beatles that got into hip-hop. And nobody knows about Malachi, and I heard that their third album may be their last.
Because they're like, no one cares except for Jim
But
Shearer.
I love them! I don't understand why they're not bigger. Maybe Joe Budden and Malachi should go out on tour together. And the number one underrated music act of the last 10 years, Cage the Elephant.
You love them.
I think they're one of the best rock bands going today. They've got 3 albums out. Their second album, Thank You Happy Birthday, to me is an all-time classic. If that album was released in 1994, it would be on everyone's essential albums list. And if you bring up Thank You Happy Birthday at a rock bar, people will say, well, I didn't listen to it. It's a shame that Cage the Elephant isn't the biggest rock band on the planet.
You know, since you said them, can I do an honorable mention?
Yes, you can.
Alt J.
Alt J.
I wish they would get a little bit more love. But I feel like we could talk
now
about this
in the Pitchfork
forever.
world, I feel like they get a lot of love.
Yeah, yeah.
But in the mainstream world, maybe not so much.
Exactly, exactly. And you know, we could talk about this forever. I'm sure you could as well. So please comment below. Let us know your top 5, and we'll talk to you again next time. Jim Shearer, Mike Adam, it's Gimme 5.